But what do you think about Ryan versus Conor Benn? What do you predict on that?
It's gonna be a good fight. I got Conor Benn.
It's gonna be a go out 12 rounds. Or do you think it'll be a knockout?
Terence Crawford has weighed in on the Ryan Garcia-Conor Benn showdown, and his pick doesn't favor the man everyone expects.
Of course, Ryan got the experience, but I think Conor got the size and the power, and I think that it's going to be an interesting fight moving forward.
Okay. Do you have a pick?
I'm going to go with Conor.
Really?
I'm going to go with Conor.
For real?
I think you're going to upset him.
Wow.
Not everyone agrees, though. Mike Tyson has thrown his own weight behind Garcia, backing Garcia to get the win. With legends split on the outcome, the debate over who really has the edge in this fight just got a lot more interesting.
Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. Who wins? Ryan Garcia knockout? He's coming down again. Yeah? Conor's getting better.
Adding his voice to the conversation, Zab Judah broke down how he sees this potential clash playing out. Judah leans toward Garcia taking it, pointing specifically to his left hook as the shot that could get the job done. Still, he isn't sleeping on Benn. Judah credits Benn as physically imposing, calling him a genuine test for anyone across the ring.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing that. Right now we got Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Who do you pick in that fight?
I like Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia, does he win by knockout or what?
I don't know. If he can land that hook, maybe so.
Conor Benn, you don't, he doesn't have a good chance?
No. I think Conor Benn has he's a very locked-in fighter. He's a very strong fighter, very focused fighter. I like Conor Benn. He's a good fighter, but I just think that right now it might be Ryan Garcia's time again.
Attention then turned to Benn, with Sergio Mora weighing in on his claim that this is his final fight at 147 pounds. Rather than reading it as a simple career milestone, he sees it as an early excuse being laid down. A sign that his body may already be rebelling against the demands and the wear of moving between weight classes.
That he's already preparing to make excuses to not look good in a weight division that he clearly outgrew. When you haven't fought in a division in 4 years, that tells you your body is not responding anymore. When you go up to weight divisions and fight back-to-back fights with a natural super middleweight at middleweight in Chris Eubank Jr., then your body doesn't respond, fluctuating, going back and forth, especially to 147. Conor Benn is a 154 pounder now. I mean, I sized him up. He will fit in nicely. He'll be a small 154 pounder.
That weight concern made Chris Mannix shift firmly in Garcia's favor. According to him, Benn hasn't fought at this weight in years, and cutting back down could leave him drained by fight night. Garcia, on the other hand, is expected to settle into the limit with little strain, giving him a clear physical edge before the opening bell even sounds.
But when I read the comments from Conor Benn, that made me believe exponentially more that Ryan Garcia was going to win. Because if you're a month out and you're already talking about the challenge of getting to this weight, a weight that he's not fought at since 2022. In his last fight, getting down to 150, he didn't look like the same guy. Didn't look like the destroyer. Didn't look like the guy that put a beating on Chris Eubank Jr. at 160 pounds. When you're now a month out talking about the struggle it is to get down to 147, and you're going to be going up against a guy that's not going to have any problem making 147.
Rounding out their analysis, the experts zeroed in on what a drained Benn might look like once the gloves are on. Without his usual pop behind his punches, they argue he'll struggle to keep pace with a sharper, quicker opponent. Add in Garcia's technical edge, and they landed on one conclusion: Garcia is favored to win by stoppage.
That this fight ends with Ryan Garcia by knockout.
Yeah, so do I. And look, we know that Conor Benn failed the PED test, right? Now you understand why there's so many different types of performance enhancing drugs. Some of them are for weight loss. Now you know why that is illegal.
Diuretics, things like
that.
that.
Yeah, now you know why that is illegal, because making weight is part of the fight. That's part of the struggle. That's part of your performance. Everything is off that. It's a calculated science, really losing that weight.
For all the doubt swirling around him, Benn isn't backing down. His answer to the skeptics is a plan built on aggression. He's made his intentions clear, throwing everything from the opening bell to catch Garcia off guard. And if it ends in the first 2 rounds, he'd gladly take that story.
Give me your exact prediction. How would you beat Ryan Garcia? And, you know, if it is a stoppage, what round would you predict it at?
I'm coming out fast, I'm coming out heavy, and I'm gonna use everything in my arsenal to try and put the kid to sleep. I'm gonna do everything I can to put him to sleep. I can't say what round, you know, God willing, it comes earlier than the first 2 rounds.
Benn's confidence has its doubters, though. Garcia's father and trainer argued there's little on tape to suggest that Benn brings anything special to the table. His reasoning ties back to history. If names like Devin Haney and Luke Campbell couldn't solve a fully locked-in Garcia, he doesn't see how Benn manages to do what they couldn't.
But you gotta have more than that, bro. You gotta have some special skills. And then when Ryan, despite how many years you've been in boxing, when Ryan is 100%, you need an army to beat him. And I'm serious, bro. I've seen this too many times. You're gonna have to have like something very special. And if Devin Haney was a way better boxer than Conor Benn, and Luke Campbell, who's a way better boxer than Conor Benn, bro, you gotta be crazy if you think you're gonna just overpower Ryan and beat him.
Henry brushed aside the trash talk aimed at Garcia's Spanish-speaking ability, calling it noise with no substance behind it. In his view, Benn is fixating on the wrong details entirely. Language has no bearing on what happens between the ropes, and that kind of distraction only points to a lack of real focus heading into fight night.
But that's not gonna cut it. You know, he's gotta have a strong bite, and we don't think he has, you know, so he's all bark, you know, and that's what he's got. He's got bark and heart. So if he's concerned about language, that's where his first mistake is. That's why he's gonna lose. He's more concerned about Ryan's Spanish than his boxing skills. He's like Brian says, he's a dumbass. You know, that's Ryan's words, okay? And that's one of the reasons why we're like, dude, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, you're more worried about, you know, the Mexican language?
As for the ending, Henry doesn't see this fight reaching the final bell. He believes Benn's aggressive fighting spirit could ultimately work against him, pushing him into dangerous exchanges where Garcia can capitalize. In Henry's view, that approach leaves Benn vulnerable to a fight-ending shot, with Garcia securing the knockout well before the 12th round.
Well, I know, I could just tell you this, it's not gonna go 12 rounds. If he says that he's a warrior, and that we have to kill him or whatever, that's a big mistake for him, because that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're not gonna kill him, but we're gonna definitely knock him out. If he has that attitude, like he'll stop at nothing, amigo, that's a bad mistake.
Echoing that same kind of confidence, Josh Kelly offered a similarly firm stance, and he isn't hedging on his pick. He admits he can't see past a Garcia win. If he's sharp and bringing his usual form, Kelly doesn't see Benn having the tools to cope. His read is a clean stoppage, with Garcia landing something clean enough to close the show.
I mean, if Garcia goes in there and he's on form and performs the way he normally performs, I mean, Conor's got a lot of things to deal with. Obviously, you got to try and root for the British guy in that, but I mean, I can't see past Ryan Garcia clipping him and stopping him. Yeah. Same way, it's probably the same way as me and Jack was going to go, to be honest. Yeah.
Moving past the verbal jabs, Sean Porter broke things down from a purely technical angle. His assessment leans toward Garcia, arguing that his speed creates exactly the kind of problems Benn tends to struggle against. Porter didn't shy away from picking a side, tabbing Garcia as the modest favorite, and suggesting there's a genuine possibility this one doesn't make it to the judges.
I think that fight, based off of how Ryan Garcia just looked in his last fight, I mean, it looks like he beats Conor Benn. Conor Benn has a style that matches what Ryan is good. You know, the style clash favors Ryan Garcia because of his speed, because of his power from the outside. So definitely a tough fight for Conor Benn. Again, based off of Ryan's last fight, I would say 60-40. Ryan Garcia wins that fight, possibly KO, but Conor is very, very tough, and that's what I already knew about him, but I got to see it firsthand when we sparred.
Still, he refused to count Benn out. Drawing on 4 rounds of sparring together, Porter said Benn looked far better than his performance against Eubank suggested. He praised Benn's crisper movement, faster combinations, and resilience, noting that the British fighter showed qualities that left a lasting impression throughout their time sharing the ring together.
He's much more versatile than we saw in the first fight with Eubank. Comes back in a rematch against Eubank. We see the versatility, we see the speed, the foot movement, and things of that nature. Those were the things that I saw in sparring when I sparred with him. Just 4 easy rounds or whatever, which let me know that he could beat Chris. The first fight, I said, man, he just was hyped up. He got caught up in the moment. The second fight, he comes back, and as most of us would, I would have come back much different.
Adding his voice to the growing list, Robert Garcia also backs Ryan Garcia to win. His reasoning centers on the scale rather than the ring. He believes the grind of making 147 pounds will take enough out of Benn to change how the fight unfolds, expecting that toll to end in a stoppage loss.
Yeah, definitely. So, but Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn, who do you favor in that? Who do you think is going?
I think Ryan. Look, Conor's a warrior.
Yeah.
Look, he's a warrior, but he hasn't made 147 in a long time. I think that's gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
That's gonna really hurt him. To get to 147 is gonna really hurt him, and Ryan hits hard and is tremendously, unbelievably fast. So I think Ryan catches him and hurts him and knocks him out. But
he stops Conor Benn.
I think so. But Conor, like I said, Conor Benn's a warrior. But I think at 147 it's going to be too difficult for him.
Simon Jordan and Duke McKenzie turned their attention to the numbers on the scale. Gap alone raised doubts about whether he can truly perform at his peak after such a long stretch away from the division, with the group also questioning how much stock to put in his showing against Prograis, given that fight came in at a 150-pound catchweight.
Duke, which people love to do, is play back something someone said 8 or 9 months ago as if they haven't learned anything different. He's fought Regis Prograis. He fought him at catchweight, I think at 150, which I don't know what it showed us, because Regis Prograis, to me, after the loss to Jack Catterall, was all done and came back for the economics of this fight. Are you still of the mindset, based upon what you've seen from Conor since then, that it's a hell of a step up for Conor and not something you see him being particularly successful in?
Yeah, I don't know how he beats Ryan Garcia.
From there, the conversation turned squarely to Garcia. The group warned that the physical demands of the cut could leave Benn running on fumes by fight night, while Garcia enters as a sharper, more seasoned version of himself, having picked up valuable reps at the sport's highest level. Taken together, they see it shaping up as a steep climb for Benn.
I mean, listen, there's the lucky punch, of course there is, but Conor has not boxed at 147 for 4 years. And when you're trying to make weight and you have to drag to make weight, takes away your A game. Even his A game, I'm not so sure would beat Ryan Garcia, because Garcia is a much improved champion now. Since getting that belt wrapped around his waist, I think he's a much improved champion. He's mixed at a higher level. All right, he hasn't won all of his fights, Garcia, but he's beaten some quality fighters that are much better than...
Tim Bradley made his stance clear. This one isn't going 12. He points to the styles both men bring, arguing that when two fighters with this kind of power collide, an early finish is almost inevitable. Bradley specifically noted how Benn's punching tends to put opponents in survival mode, forcing them to think defense before offense.
I believe it's not going the distance. I think somebody's going to get knocked out. I think both their styles, when you match them up, like I told you early on, you got Benn, who can punch, right? And anybody that can punch always tends to put Ryan on the defense, right? We haven't seen that scary shell. Remember, Barrios couldn't punch like that, when he turns his back like this and going that scary shell.
Luke Campbell dropped him too.
Luke Campbell dropped him.
Bradley then goes on what makes Benn dangerous, singling out his right hand as a real weapon. He credited Benn's conditioning and mental toughness, noting his ability to keep the pressure on throughout a fight. But he was quick to add a catch. Benn will need to get past Garcia's left hook if he wants any real shot at stopping him.
But I feel like
Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, by the way.
Yes. I feel like Benn has a chance because he has a right hand, good right hand, a strong right hand. I think the pressure that he puts on
he has an engine.
Well, yeah, he keeps going, and you see the will that he has.
Conor's mental is strong. Yeah,
he's mentally strong. However, look, if he gets past that left hook, he got to get past that left hook, man. And one more thing.
Meanwhile, Gareth A. Davies didn't mince words, predicting Ben is walking into serious trouble once the fight gets underway. He expects the reality of the challenge to hit Ben somewhere around the mid-fight, with Garcia closing things out by round 6 or 7. In his eyes, this ranks as the toughest test Ben has faced in his career.
Loads of prospects for him and they might capitalize on it. But for me, the danger for Conor Benn in this is when that bell rings, he's going to be in a world of trouble. By 5 or 6 rounds, I think he'll find out who he's really in against. I see him being knocked out in 6 or 7 rounds. Surprise me, Conor, and win the fight. But for me, this is the most dangerous fight of his career. Forget the Chris Eubank at middleweight fight. This is the most dangerous fight, and I believe he gets knocked out midway through that fight.
On the plus side, Oliver Spencer pointed to Ben's fighting spirit and sheer determination as what makes him dangerous in any matchup. They credited his boldness and his willingness to dig deep when things get difficult. The concern, though, is a resume that hasn't been tested at this level, and nothing in his record yet points to him being ready for someone of Garcia's caliber.
Without a doubt, this is the most dangerous fight, and I think it's hard to predict how he goes in this fight because we've never seen him box at this level, and we've seen nothing to suggest that he can compete at this level. And I think that's where your opinions are coming from, and you're right in saying that, because you know, if you're assessing everything, you say that Conor Benn shouldn't be living with Ryan Garcia because you've got the proven versus the unproven. But one thing we do know about Conor Benn is he's got that DNA. He has, and he showed us that against, all right, it was a weight drain Chris Eubank up at 160, but that first fight, he had to show a lot of cojones.
As for Garcia, they pointed to his knockout power as a genuine weapon, though they noted Ben can crack too. On the flip side, questions lingered about Garcia's resolve, with some pointing back to his fight against Gervonta Davis as evidence that he can fold when the pressure builds.
You can question Ryan Garcia's heart, grit, and determination. We saw that against Gervonta Davis when a lot of people said he swallowed it.
He wasn't.
So there's a lot of positives to take from Conor Benn as well. I'm with you. I think that Ryan Garcia wins the fight and he possibly wins it by knockout. But I'm not writing off a Conor Benn performance. But one thing that really concerns me about Conor Benn going into this fight is not his characteristics and, you know, and his will to win and his punch power, but making 147.
Max Kellerman then turned to the mental side of the matchup, pointing to a crack he believes Ben has already spotted. While he stopped short of saying Garcia quit against Gervonta Davis, he flagged the Rolly Romero fight as a moment where Garcia's will to win looked shaky. Ben, according to Kellerman, adds a psychological weight to what Garcia will need to overcome.
Conor Benn, it's not just that he's going at Ryan Garcia, he's identifying something that Ryan has to deal with. I don't think Ryan quit against Tank. I think he got stopped. I think you could argue he wasn't really trying to win against Rolly.
He pissed down his
right, and you can call that a form of packing it in.
From there, the conversation shifted to the numbers on the board. Kellerman pushed back on the idea that this is a lopsided affair, arguing the gap is much smaller than the odds suggest. He pointed to Ben's success in exposing Garcia's mental hurdles as reasons to see him as a live underdog, one capable of dragging Garcia into a genuinely difficult night.
So the point is, between those two fights, and I think Ryan does have heart, but between those two fights, it is an issue that Ryan has to confront, right? He has to look himself in the mirror and confront it. He's got to deal with the public if they're saying it. And the fact that Conor picked that out, and the one thing about Conor you can't say is there's nothing in him that leads you to believe he's not going to try his hardest to win. That, to me, is within a 2-to-1 kind of fight.
Unlike most of the others, Shady McCoy sees it differently. His reasoning centers on pressure, Ben coming forward relentlessly, using his toughness to keep Garcia on the back foot for 12 rounds. He debated Garcia's Barrios performance, questioning whether it truly showed a more complete fighter, or whether it just came against someone who never tested him with pressure in the first place.
And he's gonna have that approach, and he's gonna be real aggressive on him, put pressure on Ryan.
Okay.
You know, and I just keep going back to, I watched the Rolly fight. Like, he took their left hook away, and I didn't think Rolly can do that, right? And then I think Ben is a lot better than Rolly. Another thing is,
you don't think he's gotten better since the Rolly fight? You don't,
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan against Barrios.
I'm
This
about
is
to
what
talk about
Tim
it.
just addressed, the idea that he became more three-dimensional against Barrios.
But my thing is, Barrios just stood there in front of him. Like, I don't know how y'all judge Barrios. I don't know how y'all do it. A C? He didn't show me much.
I don't think
at
there's
all.
a top 10
Yo,
fighter
he didn't
who
let
give less than a
He didn't let his hands at this point.
And Garcia himself laid out an unflinching picture of what he expects if this fight goes long. He painted a bleak outlook for his opponent, insisting his physical advantages and superior instincts inside the ring would gradually wear Ben down until he had nothing left to offer.
I'm not no Regis, brother. I'm gonna spank you, and it's gonna be like I took off a belt, I put water on it, and I slap you in the face with it. Like it's gonna, ow, ow.
But
It's
why,
gonna be bad.
Why the water then?
Because it makes it pow harder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna spit on it, but then I was like,
Yeah, it's a little, maybe the water's better.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
See, I was gonna say spit on that. That would have been gross.
No, that might have been.
I don't want my spit to touch.
No, we don't want that. But
kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a good point you make though. Like you fought on that top level twice now, Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. Conor Benn, this is gonna be his first time on this level.
He brushed off Ben's track record entirely, arguing he's simply never faced anyone operating at this caliber. As Garcia put it, Ben has no idea what's about to hit him, and he'll find himself overwhelmed by the speed and power once the opening bell sounds.
I think that he has so much, he's like so oblivious and like, he's just so like unaware of shit that he's just gonna think that he could just go in there and try to maul me, but he's gonna know that I've had guys like this since I was a little kid, bro. Ever since I was like 12 years old in these gyms, they just send people to come after me and go in and rough me up, throw me up, push me up. I've been fighting these type of fighters because everybody thinks I'm some type of punk in the gyms my whole life. Come in, you're gonna get.
With legends split and the panel far from unanimous, this fight is shaping up to be anyone's night. Whether it's Garcia's speed and power or Ben's grit and pressure that wins out, we won't know until the gloves are laced up and the bell rings. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because we'll be bringing you every angle, every prediction, and every update as Fight Night draws closer.